Welcome to NTNM Extras. Avi Myers here. We had more guests. Thank God we had so many guests this year that we thought were worthwhile to get on the show that we just couldn't fit them all on the show. We even went to having 5 guests per show, which is something we've never done before. So basically, we're running NTNM Extras, which is a production of Jamie Hirsch, daughter of Sonny Hirsch, who's our entire technical crew. We do have a live show from the studio. Jim Nally will be co-hosting me on January 24th at 10:30 a.m. on CAN-TV Channel 19 in Chicago. And one of the people I met recently, and I met him over at Dennis Fleming's batch, who's running for judge in the Ninth Sub-Circuit, is a sitting judge who's running for appellate court. And actually, my panel tells me they think very highly of him, and that is Judge Tom Hogan. Judge, how you doing?
Nice to see you. How are you?
My pleasure. Tell us, how long have you been a judge?
I've been on the bench for 12 and a half years. I was appointed in 1997. He ran in the Democratic primary in 98, won, and then ran in the general election in 98 and won, and then was retained in 2004.
And what kind of court stuff do you do now?
I preside over a jury trial room in the Law Division in the Circuit Court of Cook County. My courtroom is in the Daly Center. Most of the cases that are tried in front of me are medical malpractice cases. They involve claims of medical negligence, very good lawyers, normally catastrophic injuries, and the jurors who sit in judgment of the parties who bring the lawsuit do an extremely wonderful job of getting to the nub of the issues and resolving the case fairly and expeditiously.
That's interesting. By the way, that also explains, by the way, how come this one particular lawyer I know knows you so well and speaks highly of you. Well, the highly is because basically he works for an insurance company, as a matter of fact. So that would definitely, I would think, fall into that particular category.
Well, there's some of them who like me, and there's some of them who don't. You just happened to be talking to someone who did.
And he liked you very much, and as meant he ran down the whole race, and he knew everybody running in your particular race, and he really singled you out as being by far the best guy, by the way.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Why, I was also talking to the same guy about, he says, you know what, he was saying that sometimes some people should be in appellate court, and he says sometimes people get to appellate court and they find it's not really for them. Why is it that you'd want to take the step from circuit court to appellate court?
That's a good question. I've been a trial judge, as I said, for the better part of the time I've been on the bench. And I have presided over 300 plus jury trials, thousands of motions, thousands of settlement conferences. And I think that the experience that I've gained over the last 12 years will help me to see the issues more clearly than others who haven't had that kind of experience if I'm lucky enough to sit on the appellate court.
Now, when you got your, isn't there, what's the difference? I mean, in terms of being in appellate court, are you have as much dealing with people? Are you actually studying more of the time over past decisions, or?
You're probably spending much more time looking at the law and how the law impacts a particular case that is brought to the panel on which you were working. There are, in Cook County, which is one appellate district, the first appellate district in Illinois, there are 24 appellate court justices. 18 of those are elected. I'm running in the O'Malley vacancy, which is one of the 18 elected positions. And I'm the first person on the ballot for that particular vacancy. There are also 2 other appellate court races that are up this time. One is the McNulty vacancy, and the other is the South vacancy, but I'm running in the O'Malley vacancy. You spend a lot of time reading the law. You spend a lot of time looking at the transcript of the case which is in front of you. You hear oral arguments. You have discussions with your fellow justices, and then you come to a decision. There has to be 2 people out of the 3 who sit on the panel who agree with a certain position. It can be unanimous, or it can be 2 out of 3.
Interesting. I never even stopped to even think about stuff like that. That's
Oh, that's why I'm here today.
No, that I appreciate. Do you have a punch number?
My punch number is 137.
137. Okay, it's a good number. And so I guess you go to events like the one I happen to meet you at, and
I do.
You get to be. We like to have judges on here, and because you're not really allowed to campaign.
Well, the restrictions that were placed on judges a few years ago have really been loosened considerably. So judges can pretty much do what other candidates for offices can do, with some exceptions. And most of the things that we can't do, we shouldn't do anyway.
Okay.
But we can't promise we're going to rule in a certain way in order to gain the vote of an individual or a group of people. That is just not appropriate. It wouldn't be appropriate even if we were allowed to do it, it seems to me, because then we'd be pandering, and what you really don't want, if you're a citizen of Cook County in the state of Illinois, is a judge who would pander to you and tell you that he or she would vote in a particular way on a particular issue just to gain your vote. Because if he or she is doing that to get elected, he or she will do that at other times, and that may be adverse to the position that the judge took in front of you.
Do you have a website?
My website is www.judgehogan.org.
www.judgehogan.org. We want to wish you a lot of luck in the election.
Okay.
Punch 137, and remember to be out there election day and vote.